Financial reform legislation exempted the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, from inquiries under the Freedom of Information Act. The inquiring minds on our Freedom Fighters panel want to know more. Occidental College political scientist Carolyn Heldman, my friend and colleague Fox Business Network senior correspondent Charlie Gasparino, and Lew Rockwell, founder and chair of the Mises Institute, which teaches free market economics. My friends, welcome here. Carolyn, to you first. Why should the government exempt portions of itself from the Freedom of Information Act? If the job of the SEC is to keep fraud out of the marketplace, shouldn't we know what the SEC knows and when it knows it?
Yes, we should, Judge. I think we're all in agreement about this. There is nothing that should be above a FOIA, a Freedom of Information request, unless it has to do with national security, and this clearly does not pertain to that.
Lew, can the government be trusted to monitor itself? Shouldn't we be able to see everything that the government does rather than only what it wants us to see?
Judge, in a free society, the people have privacy and the government has transparency. In our unfree society, the American people have no privacy, the government has all secrecy, and we're naked before them at the airports, actually naked before them, otherwise metaphorically naked.
I'm actually surprised
Why
at
are
your
you
position.
surprised at me? Because I invited you here.
You're a civil libertarian.
Right.
You're telling me that listen, I'm all for more disclosure. That's how I make my living.
Well, tell me, how does this work practically?
Doesn't the SEC investigates people who are presumed innocent? You're telling me that reporters should have the right to potentially innocent people?
Good question. The Freedom of Information Act exempts all of government from ongoing investigations in order to protect the innocent. If an investigation is concluded, like, let's say, Madoff, there's no protection of the innocent.
Absolutely.
But under the new statute,
so what do you want to know?
I want to know what they knew about Madoff and when they knew it. And they don't have to tell us that after the president signed this into law. So my question to you...
By the way, we know a lot about what they know about Madoff.
Okay, here's my question to you, because you know more about the practical operation of the government regulation of the marketplace than anybody else I know. Do the regulated, does Wall Street want to know what the SEC knows?
I don't know. I mean, listen, the SEC is kind of an interesting agency in that it's... yes, it is hidden from the public view to a certain extent for good reason, because I think, at some point, government has to be able to conduct its affairs, particularly when you're dealing with individuals and their privacy. And I think that's the problem we have here.
How about in investigations that are over? We want to know now what they knew about Madoff then.
What do you want to know about Madoff? I can tell you everything you want to know.
Well, I know you could, but I want to know what the government knew about
Madoff. We know that the SEC was presented with evidence on Madoff 8 times and didn't bring the case.
Okay, switching gears. Lew Rockwell, why should the Federal Reserve be abolished? Why should it be ended? Why should we not have this super secret bank controlling our money supply?
Let's remember that the Federal Reserve was founded way back in the early part of the last century by the Morgans, the Rockefellers, and other big banking families. They wrote the Federal Reserve Act at their club at Jekyll Island, Georgia. This was not in the interest of the people. It was the interest of the big banks and the government itself. That's what the Fed serves. It's dramatically depreciated the dollar. It's enabled the government to wage all its terrible wars, including the wars right now. They don't tax for those. They just print the money up. And it benefits the big banks, as recently during this whole last crisis that the Federal Reserve caused. By dramatically lowering interest rates below the market rate, they cause recessions and depressions. It's an evil agency. It's unconstitutional. It's immoral. It's uneconomic. It hurts our prosperity. They ought to be all kicked out of that building on Constitution Avenue and forced to go to work for a living.
Thank you, Lew. Carolyn, you have argued for transparency in the government. The Obama administration has argued for transparency in the government. We just had an intelligence agency on. The job of the CIA is to steal and keep secrets. We know more about the CIA than we do the Federal Reserve. Should it be so secret? Should it be able to print money and control the monetary supply without Congress even knowing about it?
Well, Judge, look, this is an important institution. Prior to its inception in 1913, we had a rash of unemployment and recession. Not only does the Fed stabilize the dollar, but it also certainly contributes to the stability of the economy. The stimulus package did work, and that was the result of Fed policy.
Let's just get this on the record. You don't believe we should abolish the Fed?
Yes, I do.
That is insane.
Yes, I do. You and I have talked about this on air and off, and you know exactly how I feel about it.
Don't we need someone to control the money supply? I mean, I'm not saying they're doing a good job about it, but don't we need that?
Hold your fire. Stay Stay right where you are. The three of you will be right back. The Congressional Budget Office says the economy is headed for a disaster. We could be like Greece. Our freedom fighters will be right back. Stay with us.